Really everything I'm talking about today is focused on helping people get in front of these new audiences. So it's really, to give a little background, specifically what we do and why we have a little bit of experience in this space. Influence & Co. focuses on turning expertise into influence by taking all the internal knowledge a company has and turning that into thought leadership content. So taking all this internal expertise, you help them utilize that as a marketing asset to grow their company, turn that into articles and then get that published online, whether it be, which I'll talk about this a little bit later, but it could be company blog content, it can be gated content on your site like an ebook, a white paper, something like that. But really the bread and butter piece that's made us so different is the distribution. So that's the guest posts and stuff that I'll talk about today. And we've built relationships with over 1,000 different publications that are everywhere from Harvard Business Review and Forbes to really specific niche publications where we help our clients get published as the byline author there. So we've built out these relationships with editors. We've conducted research with them firsthand, sent them out surveys to come up with all these insights. So this is specifically coming directly from them on what you should be doing in order to create content that they really crave. So again, everyone who is here obviously understands the importance of being found online. It used to be, try to use this, more visually to start, but rather than cold calling and doing the outbound sales tactics, it's a combination of meeting people through. It could be networking. It could be this cheesy guy with his thumb up, whatever it might be. You need to balance this out with having actual content online to build your brand, provide value to the community, to work the inbound angle too. And today specifically, I'll talk about getting you as the byline author within these publications. Really, why does that matter? 80% of business decision makers prefer to get actual information in a series of articles, a series of actually educational content that speaks to their needs rather than an advertisement. So it's simple. It just comes down to people. It comes down to understanding what people want to be finding online and intersect your expertise, what you're comfortable talking about, with what those people are looking to find. Find that sweet spot where those two overlap and create content that not only showcases what you're an expert in, but also speaks to what exactly they're looking to find and what they're already looking to engage with online. So from a high level, I mentioned there's kind of 3 layers of content. In the end, we're always looking to develop relationships, and by leads, I mean it could be potential hires, it could be potential partners, sales leads, turning potential clients, things like that. And again, I'll share out this whole presentation with everybody too, so that we don't feel like you have to take a ton of notes or pictures or anything. Although it would be awesome to tweet hashtag STLCO around all this. But from a high level, it's getting in front of new people, having that distribution piece that the guest contributed content I'm talking about today. It's driving them to your engaged community, so your own site, your own landing page, your own whatever it is that you continue to educate someone further, and then have a call to action. So ideally you have a topic that you're talking about on another side, you're educating people, you're having stuff to lead them, it could be links, it could be whatever, to lead them back to your own site about a further deep dive into that specific topic, so they would naturally be interested in what they're landing on your own site. And then have a call to action that's saying, hey, if you enjoyed this and this, download this ebook or white paper. For example, I think it's, I don't know if I have a picture here. Our CEO has a Forbes column, and he talked about the coming wave of LinkedIn when it was first opening up its publishing platform for thought leaders, for people who really care about content marketing. So he created a piece of content on Forbes about that new LinkedIn platform. Within that, we also supplemented that with our own blog post about, hey, if you're getting into Forbes publishing, here's the first 5 steps you need to take to create content that people on LinkedIn are going to care about. So we naturally drove people to that. It's another value-added piece of content. It's not saying, hey, buy from us right away. It's continuing to build that relationship and to continue to engage and educate that specific person who's already interested in LinkedIn, the publishing platform. And then we had a call to action saying, hey, if you're ready to post on LinkedIn, download this ebook or white paper. This is your stuff, your guide to thought leadership overall and your guide to content marketing. So ideally you have 3 pieces of content that are touching on a deeper and deeper level of expertise and something that's getting closer and closer to what you're, specifically what you do for people. to not only be the one educating them, but also be bring them down the sales funnel as well. So again, today I'll be talking about that distribution piece. So this all revolves around people. Like I said, it's us trying to get published. It's the editors that are trying to create great or try to publish great content on their site for their own readers. So you can create this content that editors crave. There's a big opportunity out there. We created this ebook that actually pretty much everything I'm talking about is wrapped up in there for you to share with whoever. But it's on our own site. It's around, we call it the state of contributed content. And I think we created it maybe 8 months ago, something like that, just around the beginning of the year. But we had 153 publications that we built relationships with that our publications team is dealing with every day. That they're nurturing those relationships. They're building new ones. They've done an awesome job to have these engaged people that tell us like why they even publish our clients' content in the first place and why they work with us. So we were asking them those questions, and we sent over a first-hand survey to people that like editors at Forbes, editors at could be Content Marketing Institute, it could be like a huge variety of different publications, answered as to why they publish this content. And really, one of the biggest things that came back to us is that 86% of them are planning to increase the amount of contributed content on their own sites. So they're looking for this content from people who live it day to day. And not just the journalism majors, which I was. So I'm not ripping journalists here in any means, it's just another form of that. And for us, it's the industry experts that are living it day to day. So they're looking for content from the people who day in, day out are living this stuff, that are dealing with whatever your industry might be, write about the stuff that you know. And these publications, if it fits their audience, they're looking to publish that stuff. So that was another big takeaway, just in general, that really just showcases the opportunity that any company that really knows their stuff has to get in front of these big audiences. So to break it down into 5 overall steps, which I'll do a deep dive into each of these, but one would be document your content strategy. Beyond that, research the publication's audience, so really understand who they speak to and what kind of message they want to hear online. Share your expertise and get personal, so tell those personal experiences. Don't do it in a way that's promotional, but really make sure that it's unique to your own situation and really kind of put your guts on the page. Back it up with data, so everything you're doing be obviously factually correct, and the more data you can have to back up your arguments, the more compelling the argument's going to be. And then 5, perfect your piece before submitting it. So how you might think about anything from a resume to your LinkedIn page or whatever's going to represent you professionally. These editors, it's going to put them in a bad light if they publish something that has an error in it, right, that you wrote, and you're not going to have a good relationship with them anymore, or they're just going to throw it away. So that's another huge piece of it. So to start out with documenting your content strategy, and I know I've said it 3 times already, but it's that important that only 35% of marketers last year actually documented their content strategy. It might sound ridiculous if you have 1 or 2 people, but especially as you scale and have multiple people touching your brand, this is the piece that's going to keep it consistent. It's which, to kind of from a high level talk about, it's establish goals. So talking about why you're even blogging in the first place, why you're on social media in the first place, whatever it might be. Really actually write out your goals behind why you're doing this. Understand your target audience, so it could be multiple personas, it could be, it's all about people, like I said, so it's understanding those people and what makes them tick, and then having key metrics to measure. So it could be anything from shares to leads to number of just pieces of content published, so that way you continue to consistently get your the amount of content you're publishing out there, and always stay top of mind, always stay on top of your own goals. You need to make it measurable for yourself. And for us, we do deep dives into competitive analysis to understand where your brand should stand and what your other competitors are doing, how you can do something different than them, who they're appealing to, and how you can appeal to that audience or a different audience in a different way that makes you stand out. Tone, so that's big for us, especially when you have multiple people on your team touching these articles and all shaping this project together, and really anything around personas. So that everything you're doing comes down to understanding those people, and it could be anything from FAQs from them to just common pain points you hear that you need to be talking about. From a kind of second point with this would be researching their audience. So it's really understanding, what is their audience looking to engage with specifically. So looking back through their history, if you're talking to an editor, say, hey, we know that you've had these 3 articles do extremely well on your site. This is going into why I think this article I'm pitching you right now is going to also engage with this audience very well. So showcase that you've done your research there, you've done your homework there, and you really understand who exactly they're speaking to. And really appeal to them by showcasing your past resume too. Like talk to them around, okay, here are other articles I've written for similar audiences, and here's how engaged they were. Like they had social shares, comments. You can even open up the traffic to your own site, like take a screenshot of your analytics and say, here's the referral traffic I got. So just any evidence you can present to them that showcases that you really resonate with the audience they're speaking to, and that you know who they're speaking to, it's going to go a long way with them. This chart's really showcasing, what is most important to those audiences. Unique insider advice to those which I'm kind of the third point as well. Really opening up your own story is just crucial for their audience, and exclude professionally edited, like I said as well, and non-promotional. Those are all pieces that go into understanding that audience and knowing that you can appeal to that specific person without being too upfront as an advertisement. It's providing value to them first, and that's the whole idea behind inbound. It's providing as much value as you can, presenting your lessons learned before asking for the sale. Beyond that too, they talked about, which this is another piece that came back from the editors. What's the most common problem you're seeing? Like I said, promotional content. It's something where, like, say you publish an article, you're not going to ask that passive reader to marry you on the first time they even heard your name. You're going to have to build a relationship with them, drive them to your site. Ideally, they'll ask to subscribe to your blog, so that way they actually want to listen to you and you build a relationship with them over time. But do that in a way that you're not just linking directly to some kind of landing page or some kind of offer from that guest post. Link to something on your own site that furthers value, and the editor is going to appreciate that much more and have a much better chance of being non-promotional and getting accepted. Again, unoriginal insights are on there, not a fit for the audience specifically was outlined on there. And then the other points that we talked about as well are the top results back. Number 3, share your expertise and get personal. So it's about understanding that these insights from the industry, from industry players, are what these editors are really looking for. They're looking for the people who can go through and say, hey, we work with clients and here's what they tell us, here's what they're asking us, and here's an article that's addressing that specifically. So kind of connecting all the dots between your own expertise and then also what you're living day to day, and if that overlaps with the publication's target audience, and how you can bring all those things together and express that to the editor. For us, we use what we call a knowledge bank. So we actually have a template, I think I put a link in here, but on our own site, where you can, essentially it's an asset to anyone on your team. If you have multiple people on the sales team, multiple people on the marketing team, I recommend having it across your whole company, where you have like HR talking about it, really anyone who has outside conversations with other people outside your company. Have this asset that everyone's pouring their thoughts into. So if they have a really passionate conversation, or if they have even like those frequently asked questions, or they did a great job mentoring somebody outside the company, anything around that, pour that into here, where you have some kind of title or just relative tags to find it easily, and then general thoughts. And they don't have to be full articles by any means. It can just be bullet point information, but we use this for any client, where we kind of go in and understand who their target audience is, and then what they're asking most. And this is an asset that your whole team can collectively use on a Google Doc or whatever you might use to collaborate. And something that anytime your marketing team goes in and they need to write an article, they already have a starting point for topics, and they already have information to go off of. So especially with people on your team who aren't the best at writing per se, or don't care to write really, this is probably the most effective way to get them involved and start getting generating topics from them, because a lot of times they can be the people who are having most conversations in person, and the people who can have deep insights into what you should be talking about on your blog or on this guest posted content. Again, the 5 ways to really get the most out of this is update it regularly, so actually use it to start with is a good place to start. Keep your audience in mind, so have some kind of tab in there that really outlines your personas and helps you think keep about people first and why you're talking about a specific subject. Crowdsources, so have people from all over your team. If you have a larger team, whether it be salespeople, marketing, HR, whoever, account service, have them all update this and crowdsource their knowledge. Really try to tag it because it can get messy pretty quickly, so you kind of have to be organized, and that's what the template that we have on our own site really focuses on helping you organize that information and then make it accessible. So that kind of goes with the crowdsource piece, but make it very easy for anyone on your team to contribute to it. So 4, back it up with data. This piece is probably one of the most overlooked pieces and also one of the most time intensive. I think for us, this kind of showcases data.gov and Pew Research Center are 2 of the most reliable and credible sources, because you always need to check the credibility of anything you're putting on there. Content Marketing Institute, so a lot of the stats that I got from this presentation were through Content Marketing Institute. That's just an industry-specific site that does a lot of research. So find those gems. Kissmetrics, same thing. They do a ton of first-hand research like that. Find those gems in your industry that are doing all this research, and you can do some first-hand research like we did for this presentation, but piggyback off them and try to curate those sources first and have a couple go-tos in that way to back up any argument that you're making, and that's going to make it just that much more compelling for an editor to agree with, especially if you're taking a controversial stance. This is going to be huge to make that more credible and really resonate with people. And then finally, this last piece is edit. So that's all about, like I said, being professional, have a very professional image and understanding. Fact checking. We use this plagiarism check tool called Copyscape. That's the best one we found. It's all about understanding that this editor is putting out their own credibility as well when they're publishing their own piece. So you need to be able to represent them as well as you possibly can, and everything that you do as far as editing and making sure everything's completely accurate is going to reflect on them as well. So this is a huge key piece for anything that you're looking to build a lasting relationship with an editor, and something that can't be stressed enough. So finished product looks like this. Where again, this is our CEO. He's got him as the byline author, but especially it's interesting. Well, he's got like a Forbes column, Inc., Entrepreneur, places like that, where we see a lot of times some of our most valuable content is on Content Marketing Institute or Business.com or smaller places that you might not necessarily have heard of without digging a little bit, but your target audience has heard of it. And it's much more around the quality of reader than quantity. I know Austin talked about for them they're looking at IP publications, so stuff that we wouldn't have heard of, but that his target audience is specifically engaging with, and is something that it's much more around the quality of person that you're talking to match up your specific message with that person, and that's gonna. For us, we've seen that being the most valuable way to quickly get in front of editors, and a lot of times those are the places that have a much smaller wait time to even get published. Excuse me. So they're always looking for content. They probably have a smaller staff, so they're more open to publishing stuff that you contribute. And there's something that if you can find the right audience and start to resonate with them, you build an awesome relationship with them and almost be a regular contributor there. Build kind of your own community built on top of their readership, if that makes sense. And yeah, this is the template that I talked about. It's influenceandcode.com/resource-library. You've got a bunch of stuff on there that the ebook or the white paper that outlines this whole presentation is from there. This template's on there. We got like editorial calendars on there. So really anything around content marketing in general, we kind of threw onto that link. So I'll still share this out with everybody here and on the Facebook page. I'll throw up a slide share and stuff. But yeah, I know I threw a lot at you, but love to hear your questions or feedback on if you've tried kind of stuff before and what you found work. Anybody? Or Periscope?
Send your content to. What's the best strategy? You just go to goes a spider on me. It's been handled. It's been handled. Whenever you're looking for the right person to send your piece to, you just go to the website and start searching keywords that pertain to you, or what's the best strategy for finding that person?
Do you mean finding publications or finding the editor?
Within the publication, finding the editor, yeah.
Honestly, just kind of take some research on LinkedIn and things like that. We've tried out a ton of different methods that our publications team would probably have some good insight on that too, but I mean, we've done everything from reach out on LinkedIn, email. There's a couple, or contact form, so a lot of sites will have something like that. But even within that, like we can even go to a contact form cold. And typically when we pitch an editor, we'll pitch them a full actual article that, if it's their publication guidelines, that's another piece to definitely look up. A lot of sites have actual guidelines laid out on like word count, tone, things like that. So that'll give you a good clue to who's reading it as well and how to really fit your article to pitch them. But it's around contacting them and either asking them for the publication guidelines if it's not on there right away, or pitching it with a full piece that you've already optimized the pitch to them. So that way you're not saying, hey, can I contribute, but saying, hey, here's an article that I've created exclusively for you guys. I'm not going to post it anywhere else until it's up to them to publish it. And here's why it's going to be great for your publication. So, and then usually finds the right way. Get your foot in the right door. Good question. And feel free afterwards, say hi. And like I said, we do these monthly, so I know a lot of you are repeat, which is awesome to see, but new people, welcome, and hopefully you found this valuable. So.